Hello, beautiful souls, and I'm jumping in to share with you something when I was meditating came through quite strongly, and it actually happened in one of my sessions. I will pre-warn you, I have my little dog here because she's wants to be around me a lot. So if she barks, I apologize in advance. I can't keep her out all the time because I do that while I'm meditating, and she's already goes nutso with that, and also like when I work down in my hut, she's away from me there. So anyway, that's how it is when you've got animals. So that's how it is for me anyway. What I want to share with you today is very fascinating and interesting to me. And as I experienced this with a client today, I was sort of channeling it. I thought, when I was meditating, I thought, I really got to share this with people. So I'm going to theme this something along the lines of the collective. We're living in the times now of collective energy. And what I mean by that is, so let me backtrack a little bit. So one of my clients was wanting to look into past lives. Now, I'm not a big advocate for past lives because I've got different ideas about that. Just because the life we're living now is the most important. However, you can bring in stuff, what people call karma. Now, again, I've got a different belief system about karma as well. You create your own karma in this life now. You're not squaring something off of karma from the past or past life. It's in your life now. However, you can hook into it, start thinking about it, delving into past lives, and that's how you can start to create new karma for yourself. Okay, that's why you really got to be mindful of what you dabble with, because you're literally opening up other lives or portals or bringing stuff over because now you're allowing it. So, you know, my belief system is you're not born with karmic debt. You're born with coming forward to live a bigger and better life in a powerful way. So, are some things happening in other lives that perhaps you're learning from and now you get to come back and do it better? Yes, I agree with that. But I don't agree with you're bringing stuff over or you're born with karmic debt and now you've got to clear it. But I do believe that you can start hooking into it and then bringing it over, because you're so powerful, you get to choose. It's free will. Okay, so it's not imposed upon you, but you can bring it into your life if you start believing in it and looking into it. So, you know, some people will say, oh, this person that is really evil to me at work, and sometimes they're joking about it when they say it, you know, I must have had a bad past life with them, or I looked into it and they were my sister in a past life and they were evil then, or people can go into that. Now, that may be true, and that can be helpful for you to work with something now to release, because the power is now. And this is why I talk about the collective, because when I was working with my client this morning, what I've sort of known that became quite clear to me is that we are living in the time now of the collective energy. And what that means is throughout your lifetimes and even in this lifetime. So okay, what happens is, what I deal with is trauma with people. And it's not just trauma, it's blocks, because trauma is a very strong word for some people, but it's releasing resistance and releasing blocks so that you can flourish and thrive and have a good relationship with many things. So I help people release their blocks, their resistance, their trauma. They're just different words you can use interchangeably to the degree that they are, because trauma can be quite, you know, and even in that of itself, it has a long band on it. So, you know, we may have all experienced some trauma, but some people have experienced severe trauma. So there's a bandwidth with that as well. So coming back around to the collective energy we are in at the moment, any past lives from your past or even in this life, we are living in the times right now. Some people call it shadow work or shadow self, where these aspects of you are coming up and you're being confronted with them. So let's say in this life, something may have happened when you were younger. If you didn't resolve it, If you didn't reject it and you learn to accept it, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously, you take it on, it becomes a part of your vibration and you carry it through your life. And because we're vibrational beings, what happens is the law of attraction works like this. You just attract to you how you're feeling. So if there's a part of you that's experienced something and you didn't like it, it will keep showing up with different people, same kind of thing going on, just but with different people or different events, but it's the same theme. So that seems to be happening. We're living in the times where it has to be cleared out, okay? Because humanity is moving to next level. Some are already there, many are already there, but in previous times, this has always been accessible to all humans. There have been light workers who have done this, but now more than ever before, it's available to everyone. And if you're not doing anything about issues going on, they will get bigger because the surge of the energy is becoming more. You cannot ignore this. So it's going to thwart out in different ways. It's going to thwart out in ways of, experiencing strong negative emotion, experiencing breakdowns for some people, experiencing their own trauma. It's like the snowball. It just gets bigger and gathers more as it rolls down the hill. So if you've got underlying currents of negative emotions going on or past events or things that you have not, you think you've put them to bed, but actually just buried them, they keep growing and they will resurface. And as an opportunity when someone comes along that you have a negative experience with, it's trying to mirror what's in you and get you to heal it. So you as an opportunity to heal it, or you bury it again and it just keeps getting worse. But because we're living in times where the collective energy now is, it's not holding back and it's strong, there is no, you can't deny it. It's going to thwart out. And it thwarts out in different ways for people. For some people, it will manifest because they're not paying attention to their thoughts and feelings. It will manifest in disease. It can also manifest in other ways as well, where you're having an experience. So what I wanted to share with you was that so far. And so what happens is when a child experiences trauma, so when you're little, you're easily imprinted upon between the ages of 0 to 7. And your world is usually your mother, or it could be your father. Usually it's the person, though, that is very close to you, caring for you. Whether that's good or bad, that doesn't matter, okay? In the sense that they are imprinting upon you. So if they're a great mum, they're imprinting well-being. If they're not great and then they're not very nice, that's imprinting upon you. And there's good and bad in that, okay? I won't go into that, but I'll just give you an idea. So let's say something happens to you as a child between the ages 0 to 7. Now, I'm not specifically talking about your mother. This could be from anyone. If you have some kind of trauma or some negative experience, a part of you breaks off. It's like a shattering. And usually trauma does that. It's a shock. Now, that part of you, say you're 5, for example, that 5-year-old breaks off an aspect of you, which is your 5-year-old, breaks off from you. And if that 5-year-old doesn't find a way to resolve that, they accept that as part of their being. Okay, if they don't make peace with it, they accept it as part of their being. And so this traumatic child who is outside of you at the age of 5, for example, and you may be 30, is not happy. Now, you may not recognize it, you may not be conscious to it, but you will recognize it in ways where something comes up, someone triggers you. Now, someone is not going and triggering you. Yes, sometimes that happens. Some people do that deliberately, but usually the trigger is coming because you are interfacing with someone now who you've attracted to bring the trigger out. So it's like a mirroring in order for an opportunity to heal. So when that shattering occurs, part of you breaks off. If that child doesn't make peace or doesn't resolve it over time, that child remains outside of you. I call it the outer child. And so we can have a lot of adults walking around on this planet who are still throwing tantrums inwardly. They're not actually, some are throwing them outwardly, ones that are displaying that. They get mad, they go crazy, or they shoot people. Sometimes that happens. There's a child that is wounded. So part of what I do in some of my sessions, depending on what people want to do and how I'm working with me, I look for that wounded child and we heal that wounded child and we re-emerge them. So the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because what I experienced today with a client was this client wanted to look at past lives, and I don't delve into past lives. However, this was quite important because it was going to help what was going in this person's life now, recognizing that, you know, if I heal that aspect, it will help me. So we did, we looked at that and we did that. So I just wanted to say we are living in times of, it's the best time and the worst for some people to collect your energy. You can be, do and have whatever you want. This is the time to be born of all times. This is the golden age. This has always been available to humanity. However, now it's more available readily because that's where the planet's going. Like, you will not get left behind. You're either going to rise with it or you're going to leave, okay? Or you're going to suffer until you let go and rise. But there's this collective shift going on, and it's like, it's easier more than ever before to do it in this lifetime, okay? So that's, and I want to talk about causal energy and karmic energy. Now that, to me, I just wrote these down. That's what I was channeling. So that's about, you know, again, root cause stuff. So if you're experiencing something happening in your life and it's repetitive, why do I always get the shitty partner? Why do I keep going through these relationships? Why am I always poor? Whatever it is for you, you need to look at your vibration and the root causes. And the root causes will come from when you were younger, from the programming. Now, when I say programming, I'm not saying what your parents did to you was good or bad. It just is what it is. Because until we take full responsibility, only then can you really step into the master of who you are. It's not your parents' job. It was never your parents' job to feather your nest, raise you, give you everything. It's not your parents' job to always be beautiful and kind for some people. You're coming through wanting contrast, and whatever you experience, it's a platform that you can jump off from to experience what you would prefer. So understand, you can bypass your parents. Now, what I mean by that is if you were raised with not a great mum, or and your dad was great, or not a great dad and your mum was great, or both of them weren't, or it wasn't really what you thought it would be, whatever, okay? Whatever it is for you, you can say, these teachers, because we are all teachers and students to each other, have helped me to identify what I would prefer. They've helped to remind me that I really want to be loved, because that's what a parent's job is. If you can have a parent that just loves and accepts you, oh my God, all children just, that's all they want. But that doesn't always happen because of their programming. And it's part of the contrast that soul is choosing, to have contrast at a young age, because here's what happens, and I witnessed this with clients. A client who's experienced not wonderful upbringing or didn't get the love, because they didn't, they have created a strong desire in their future for more love and strong love and to know love. So somebody, for example, like, let's take me, for example. I grew up with very loving parents. You know, they were great. They were very balanced with a lot of the things they did. So for me, I had a very good upbringing, looking back now, and having my own children, looking back and really appreciating what my parents did do. But somebody, so I feel loved and I feel loved, but somebody who didn't experience that is going to feel more rewarded and more loved than what I feel because of their contrasted experience, if they can allow it. So they actually reconnect to more love because they've asked for more love when they've been in the absence of it, you see, if that makes sense. So you have to look at it like, everything you are experiencing, any contrast you are experiencing, is just helping you to define what you want, what you would prefer. And it's like a bow and arrow. When you pull that arrow back on that bow and you create that tension, okay, resistance, stress is another word, to whatever degree, the tighter it is, the harder, right? The more stress, the more you pull back. So when you let go of that arrow, it's not just going to go there, it's going to really go. So when you release and let go of the struggle, you don't just go, you go, and you keep going, like it's a long way, right? That's what happens when you release yourself from the resistance. And that's what I work to do with people, releasing them from their traumas or their resistance and getting them to be accountable and standing in their power now, and bringing in the wounded children, healing them and returning them to you. So you've got these beautiful children inside of you now. That inner child comes out to play. It's not wounded and upset. It's not now shutting down in an adult body, because what you will witness is grown men or grown women, but they're just little wounded boys or wounded girls when they're having an outburst or when they're shutting down, because they've never brought that wounded child back into them. And no matter who caused that splitting, whether it was a parent or someone else, is not the point. It's the point is you have power and control over everything. You allowed it to split, and you can bring it back. You get to return it, and only you can. And when I say you allowed it to split, meaning you can get children who can be so hurt, beaten, traumatized, and still will hold their God, goddess, source in love in their heart and forgiveness, that they barely even move from their alignment. So they continue to find unconditional love, and they never stray, they never split out. They are very strong souls who remember who they are. And as an adult, you can remember who you are, that you are brilliant beings. You are beautiful. You are unconditional love. You are clever. You are smart in many different ways. You are intelligent in many different ways. You don't need to compare yourself to people. You are enough and good enough. Residing, sitting in the seat of your soul, of your heart, just like where your soul sits. It's a feeling. And remembering your magnificence, and remembering we are all perfectly imperfect, because if you were perfect, you would be finished, dead and done. And that doesn't exist even when you leave this body. You are constantly expanding. And being finished, dead and done is boring. So perfect enough for now while becoming more, okay? Because you're always going to reach for more. So there's this causal energy of looking at the cause, the root causes of why does this keep happening to me? What is it? What is that child that is within me, or outside of me rather, that is upset? What is something that keeps showing up, I'm noticing, that is causing me to continue to have these effects going on in my life? When I go to the root cause, I can see just like that. So you drop a pebble in the water. That's the cause, the causation, the causal energy that causes the ripples to affect out. So you're either at the cause of the problem or the problem or the solution, or you're at the effect of the problem. And the solution's not very nice. You're out on those edges receiving the issues. When you start to look at the cause of the problem, you have your solutions. And so karmic energy for me is about how you're thinking and feeling now. How you're thinking and feeling now. Okay? What you're putting out now. And yes, if you want to look at past lives, because they're going to help you shift something here and now that's showing up in your face. If you feel that that's what you need to do and it's going to be beneficial, do it. But, just be mindful. You don't want to be looking into every nook and cranny, because your life is here and now. It's important here and now how you feel. So I just wanted to say it was very strong. I had to share this. The collective energy is massive right now, and it's a time for many souls to be here because there is no greater time to release. It's easier. There's so much available on how you can shift and release, and things are quick and fast, and manifestation is quick and fast. The energy is very fast now, and the veils are thinning. The veils are thinning between our worlds, between who we are, between our connection to our source. There's never been a greater time to be living. If you want to clear up your stuff, now's the time to do it, because if you don't, you are going to suffer. Okay, it's going to get more in your face. It is going to speed up more. It's going to become more uncomfortable. So in saying that, now let's have a look. Got a couple of cards. I meant to do this the other day when I did a video and I forgot. So let's just draw a card right now. And it is on the subject of the collective energy that I've just been talking about. Just want to see what comes. What is the card suggestion for that? Okay. And it says, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. How funny. If you can see that, it's a bit blurry. That reading is far too small. Okay, that is beautiful colours. It's like she's beside some kind of dreamy ocean, whether she's in the sky or down on some planet somewhere. But it's very dreamy. Just sort of got like, she sort of looks like a mermaid. But it says, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So my belief is that more than ever before, there have been a lot of light workers come to the planet to help ascend and lift, to help people heal. There's a lot of lightness coming to the planet now. We are going from dark to light. Has been a lot of darkness on the planet for a very long time. This is a tremendous shift we're going through, okay? Just got another deck here. And let's pull another card. And this one says, your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus, which Taurus I think is in May, which is what we're in. So your dreams need a practical plan. So whatever it is that you're dreaming about or thinking about, get some plan happening, write it down. What can I do? What can I participate in? Okay. That's really interesting. So anyway, I'm going to leave that with you, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll catch up with you again real soon. So bye for now.